Welcome to Innovation Station. Our topic today is collective intelligence.
So you mean all of us are smarter than any one of us?
That's what I've heard.
All right, I have some questions. Who's the smartest man in the world?
Most people would probably say Einstein.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. Who's the smartest woman in the world?
That's a good question.
That knowledge is not looked upon favorably. No one's supposed to know that, so good that you didn't answer. The innovation age has replaced the information age. So a lot of our team members were coders and worked with the information age. Now they're 25 years old and that era has passed. And now we're in what's called an innovation age. It is all about inventing things, new things, AI, new kinds of software. But it's already going past us and moving into an intelligence age. The problem is nobody feels very smart. That's also bad grammar. You know why? Because we each hold a piece of a big puzzle, a grand mosaic. And when you go into a company, they say, okay, the engineers over there, the scientists over there, managers, you're going to have these offices, the salespeople are going to be there, the marketing department, and they build up these silos, they call them, of information, and no one knows what information the others are holding or how it fits in, and they all have their own language, like legalese, gobbledygook, nonsense, mathematics, and so very seldom do they share ideas.
Gobbledygook?
Gobbledygook.
Which department is that?
Physics. You thought I didn't know that, but I have that piece.
Good to know.
I got that from Hassenfelder, Sabina Hassenfelder. She calls it gobbledygook. You know? So I'm gonna do a little game with you.
Okay.
To show you how each of us holds pieces of the puzzle, but none of us hold enough pieces of the puzzle to be able to do anything with it. Was ist das?
Let's see. An L? Well, not anymore now, but stop turning it. It keeps changing.
Now you see that let's have that represent a thought or a piece of a collective project that we're trying to create.
Okay.
And you've got that piece, but you don't know it. Where is it, and what does it have to do with anything else? And so you put it away somewhere in the back of your mind, and if somebody asks you, where is it, you say, where is what? Okay, I'll try another.
Great. They are not exactly getting easier, are they?
No, and it's pink, so it might be more girly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not even know how to describe that one.
Like the thoughts in your mind. So you hold essential pieces of an incredible innovation which wants to form into an incredible collective intelligence, but we don't understand the thoughts, the feelings, the ideas, the knowledge. None of it fits together in our brain. So we all think there's something not right with me. Other people are smart, other people must know what's going on, but as for me, all right.
Well, it's blue.
It's blue, okay, all right.
The moon.
Der Mond.
With a hole in it?
With a moon with a hole in it, all right? What happens when we try to put a bunch of ideas together, we come up with something like this.
Whoa.
Whoa, what is it? Was ist das? What is that? What could that be? What is it? Where does it fit in? Now, the reason I work with you is because you are incredibly intelligent. So when you finished school in France and Germany, your mathematics after 5 years of schooling is beyond the mathematics that a math major learns in an American university. How did you do?
Very good.
Very good? Like G, good, or E, excellent, or P for?
I don't know what P stands for.
Perfect.
Okay.
Did you or did you not get perfect math scores at the end of your schooling?
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
And music, you're a music theorist, which is also very mathematical and very precise and exacting. And how did you do there?
Same thing.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh no, that's why I have to work with you. Now ask me about my math scores.
How were your math scores, Martin?
Okay, at the end of high school, you have this test called the Regents, and the lowest passing possible grade is 65. If you get 64, you do not pass. You do not pass go. You do not collect $100, you know. I got 65. Not good. Musically, you're supposed to learn how to read music and stay in tune and be in time, and I never learned any of that stuff. I just faked it the whole way. And okay, I also rarely went to school. I would attend about 2 days a week. Other days I would go in, sign out. I had the greatest homeroom teacher. She knew what I was doing. And there were 2 teachers in the school who had a son who was in a diving accident and he was paralyzed from the neck down. I would forge a pass. My homeroom teacher would look at me like, okay, and I would sneak out and go spend the day with my friend. So I didn't keep up with homework. I didn't believe the teachers, all that history nonsense that they were teaching us. All I remember is 1066. It was a rough year. There were 2 major battles followed by the Battle of Hastings, and that's kind of what I remember about history. I was not a good student. But I have all these ideas running around in my brain like pieces of a mad puzzle, but I don't know how they fit together with anybody. And so I always assumed there's something very wrong with me. There's some piece missing in my brain that's going to put it all together. Years later, as I got into studying stupidity, I did not get here by studying intelligence. I got here by studying stupidity, beginning with my own. And I figured out something. Idiot, savant, autism. I had something that wasn't diagnosed in those days, and I chose the field of psychology so I could learn to understand my stupidity. And instead, I found strange bits of ideas that didn't fit together inside of my mind, but when I put them together with other people, amazing things could happen. That's the secret of my success. Collaboration, collective intelligence. Now, you have a few pieces. Yours are much better put together than mine.
Let me show those. There we go.
Wow. So it's just like you. It's orderly. The colors are in place, the letters are where they belonged. But what is it?
Let me ask you. You can see it better.
I know. It just looks like a bunch of things clumped together. All right, now, just to demonstrate how collective intelligence works, okay? Let me take one of my clumps, a few things that I've put together, and I'd like to have you put them together with your major clump.
Okay.
Okay, can you do that for me?
Yes, I'll do that.
We all have put together bits of a reality that exists in a fog. We look out at the world. It's like looking at a computer screen and you see all those icons and you see images, but you know they're not real. They're just images on a screen. Donald Hoffman calls it a headset. We see the world like a headset. Ooh. Now you've put together some pieces from my scattered thoughts together with yours. It's beginning to look like something.
There
I
you
just
go.
can't quite figure out what it's beginning to look like. Let me hand you another piece of my thinking.
Ooh, the moon.
The moon.
Der Mond.
That's
Wait a minute.
Isn't that beautiful? Oh my God! No, it still makes no sense whatsoever.
There's a hole in there now.
All right. See if my object will fill your opening.
Okay, let's see.
And that's how it works, right? Somebody has a opening, which we call a curiosity. So collective intelligence is curious intelligence. It's beginning to look like something. Is it a building? Could it be, I really don't know. But I have another thought.
Oh, the weird one.
The weird one. Uh-oh, it's beginning to look like...
Christmas?
What?
Christmas?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. All right, I have one thought left. It's not very relevant. Could be an L, could be, whatever. Add that to your puzzle. And voila.
Yay!
Das Boot. It's a boat. Now, this is a two-dimensional image based on thoughts that I have that are apropos of nothing, based on how you've assembled your reality, which doesn't really fit anything. Are you redoing the puzzle?
I was just turning around one.
Drives me nuts how perfectionistic you are. So even not only are our parts different, are you improving on the boat?
Yeah, it just
my
wasn't
God.
quite right.
Now I would, okay, show it again.
Let's see if anybody notices the difference.
I don't. But collectively, we built a two-dimensional, by now you understand what it means. Everything I know, I learned in kindergarten. Now think about a 1,000-piece puzzle. And you've got a company with a few hundred people, maybe a few thousand people, and they're all carrying around little pieces of a puzzle. There's the engineer's puzzle, the management puzzle, the shareholder puzzle, the economics puzzle, the mathematics puzzle, and you put them all together, and you get a flat screen. You get a screen image or a spreadsheet with numbers on it that reflect how your business is doing. But now let's put those over many, many years of spreadsheets stacked one on top of the other, and they become three-dimensional. And let's say that we take a 1,000-piece puzzle, and then another 1,000-piece puzzle, another 1,000-piece puzzle, another 1,000-piece puzzle. And the job of a company is to put those together in a way to create a product that people can believe in and people can trust, and that people trust enough to buy it. Complexity itself. Now, all those people have different education, they all have different opinions, and now let's say an engineer is really good at what he does. He works his way to the top, he reaches, he sees all, he's just blue sky above him. And behind him, all the people who he had to defeat and push aside and fight his way, claw his way to the top. And then he turns around and he looks at the company, and what does he see? Chaos. Leadership, he suddenly realizes something. It's social. It has nothing to do with the engineering that got him there. It has nothing to do with what he learned in school. It has nothing to do with all the jumbled thoughts in his mind. The leader and his team of leaders have to get people to cross the silos, cross the barriers, cross the boundaries, meet together at the level of children and play. And in the act of playing, a puzzle begins to assemble itself. Are humans creating AI, or is AI a pre-existing intelligence that created humans to invent computers to put it together for itself? I haven't figured that one out. Is it creating us, or are we creating it? So, collective intelligence, or what we call curious intelligence, comes down to a series of questions, and it's like a combination of Socratic dialogue. Mm-hmm. You have no idea how intelligent you are. So, what's your major talent?
Listening.
You call that a talent?
No, not really.
Okay. Are you a singer? Do you dance? Do you have something to say?
No. No.
Same here. What I got to work with? Nothing. But yet we put that together, and you formed an organization and were kind enough to bring me on board, and it turned into a transformative event for thousands of companies and startups. Collective intelligence, not just yours and mine, but also every person who came in made a major contribution to it. Collective intelligence. Now, a few of them weren't so nice, and they tried to copyright the whole thing and act like they did it. But the truth is, we all did it over 2 decades. It didn't. Now, here's where it gets weird. It didn't come together. Everything that wasn't what we were looking for fell apart. In other words, when you get an innovation, it's not that somebody sat and added up all the thoughts. You can't get there with addition. Not even with, are you perfecting that again?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just can't look at it when it's not right. You keep talking, I'm going to adjust it.
Like fractals are a matter of addition and multiplication. You add things on and you multiply things, and that's wonderful. But it has nothing whatsoever to do with innovation or with intelligence. Innovation and intelligence comes from things falling apart, from entropy, but they fall apart into a new and unexpected order. You're driving me nuts with this. Now, you know that I would not sit and correct that, right? I would not be still working on that. I would be, it's good enough. Put it out there, let the customers buy it. They'll like it or they won't, Oh, no, not the purple one. Ay.
Okay, this is going to take a while. I might not make it in time before the broadcast is over.
And isn't that project management right there? Okay, here's the deadline. Here's when it's got to be done. We're not going to make it. Okay, extend the deadline. Yeah. Now, how does that leader, who's now, he turns around and looks at the company, and you know what he sees? Not one puzzle, hundreds of puzzles, all resembling gears that work together with perfect timing. I like to use the example of football. We're both fans. When Drew Bledsoe was quarterback for the New England Patriots, he was the best quarterback ever in history. Could outrun, outplay, outthrow everybody. He got injured, and their backup guy was Tom Brady, who was 199 in the draft, barely made it into the NFL at all. He took over and didn't have the talent, but somehow the team responded to his vulnerability, and they synchronized around him, and they were a better team.
Yes,
Yes,
I got it. That's better.
that's better. Maybe you should go to work for a German automotive firm. I think this is a quality that they lost somewhere along the way. I think they didn't hire enough women, and ask them what they wanted in a car. So what is it you want in a car?
Red.
Red. And there are just not enough red volts. And the shades of red, it's just the wrong shade.
Yeah, it has to be a very specific red.
Jeez, what were they thinking, engineering, pollution, electric versus piston drive. And they completely forgot red. What were they thinking? Now, when you put together the thinking of the customers, the men, the women, the engineers, the marketers, the other countries that buy their cars, the countries that steal their technology, build better cars and send them in, there's a huge puzzle there. Things are falling apart in an astonishing way. And what's going to come out of that chaos is unexpected order. Like your boat. Question is, when the new order emerges, will they recognize it, or will they crumple it up like a two-dimensional sheet of paper and throw it away? Or will they look on the computer screen, not realize how things are falling apart perfectly, and just hit the delete button and lose the whole thing? The power of collective thinking is that it creates chaos, and as the chaos flies apart, bits of order appear. It's what they call butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps, you predict the weather. Do you ever check the weather?
Like almost every day.
Almost every day. And is it ever accurate?
Not here.
Does 30 degrees always mean 30 degrees?
No, because then you have the breeze or no breeze and the humidity. So it's always different.
So all the things you're measuring have almost nothing to do with, when you step outside, what is the end user experience. And yet we check the weather. Okay. So a butterfly, some meteorologist puts a weather report together and goes, okay, this is going to help everybody. Okay. And then a butterfly somewhere flaps its wings, a little gust of wind hits another little gust of wind, creates a low pressure area, a storm moves in, everything turns out different than they predicted, and next thing you know, you got a flood in Spain, or you've got an earthquake in Russia, or you've got all these unexpected events going on. And the hard thing in collective thinking is to be curious enough to observe it from 1 millisecond to the next, and then communicate between all the divisions and departments and disciplines, so that everybody's on the same page. Wait, this is starting to sound like music, like your specialty, like mathematics meets music meets, hey, You might just be a leader. So, okay, welcome to kindergarten. You can't understand intelligence until you simplify it down and watch it in wonder as it unfolds. The moment you define it as IQ, I've given hundreds of IQ tests. They measure short-term memory. Who wrote Faust? Don't answer that, it's on the test.
Okay.
Okay.
I almost answered it.
Yeah, I know. Short-term memory. Repeat after me. 3769821.
I'm not gonna do that either.
You know, so now your IQ is going down because it doesn't really measure intelligence.
That's right.
And I watched your eye-hand coordination as you were doing the puzzle, and it didn't look that good.
It was a bit slow, wasn't it?
IQ-wise, you're not exactly at the top of the heap, okay? But intelligence has got nothing at all to do with IQ. And it's got nothing at all to do with like what they call practical intelligence, like social skills, emotional intelligence. That's an oxymoron. If you're emotional, that's already unintelligent. How can you call it emotional intelligence? And so the language and all the journals and the books screw it up even more. Intelligence is what happens when things fall together in a perfect order and collectively we recognize it. We know it when we see it. That's the right shade of red. I'm taking that car. But wait a minute, it's an older model and it has these little problems with the engine. I don't care. I like the red. I'll take that car. Intelligence isn't putting everything together. That just creates a clump, and all those companies are losing money, and all the countries behind them are going deeper and deeper and deeper into debt. Every single member of the G7 now owes more money than they make. They're all operating on a massive deficit. And there's no money, there's no actual value in anything. And virtually every company except NVIDIA is losing money out the wazoo. I'm not sure what a wazoo is, but I think it goes together with a gobbledygook.
Good to know.
So intelligence is observing the unfolding of events, and where do you see it? When you look at a car and your eyes get bright and your heartbeat quickens and you have a visceral reaction, you know, that's intelligence. If the company is reading that, they're going to build cars that people want. Right now, there are, in the US, $850 billion worth of cars sitting on lots and nobody will buy them. And it's about the same in Europe, about the same in China. It's a huge mess. They're building stuff that nobody wants. It's not unintelligent, but it's not what you would call intelligence either. Now, if they were all working their pieces, you know, all their little parts together during the destruction phase, they call it creative destruction, then what would happen is cars would emerge that people wanted to buy. Products would emerge that people wanted to eat. Events would occur that made companies and countries more successful. Collective intelligence, curiosity, that's where it's at.
Thank you, Martin.